Most people think wealth is about working harder, saving a little more, and hoping everything works out. But the people who actually rise to the top, the wealthy, the powerful, the ones who seem to always land on their feet, play by a different set of rules. Rules the average person never learns. Rules society doesn't openly teach. Rules rooted in psychology, power, and strategy. The same type of principles you'd find in Machiavelli's The Prince. Today, I'm going to break those rules down for you. Not the fantasy version of success, the real version. The version that actually works in the world we live in today. Let's start with the first hidden rule. The rich don't chase money. They position themselves for it. Average people hustle for dollars. Rich people create situations where dollars flow toward them. Take the story of two co-workers, Jason and Miguel. Jason works overtime, picks up every extra shift, and always talks about being tired but grinding. Miguel, on the other hand, spends his weekends learning how to negotiate, building digital skills, and connecting with people who are doing better than him. A year later, Jason's still tired. Miguel gets promoted, then offered a better job somewhere else because of who he knows and the value he built. That's the Machiavellian idea, building alliances before power is needed. Most people wait until they're desperate to start making moves. The rich start long before that. Money responds to positioning, not exhaustion. The rich understand one thing: perception creates opportunity. This is straight out of Machiavellian strategy. People judge what they see, not what's true. This is why wealthy people care about presentation, branding, and reputation. Think about it like this. Two consultants charge for the same service. One shows up with a clean brand, a confident tone, strong communication, and an online presence that looks polished. The other looks good enough, but average. Who gets chosen? Always the one who looks more valuable. Because in the real world, value is perceived before it's proven. This is why the wealthy invest in personal image, professional design, storytelling, and polished communication. Not because they're insecure, but because they understand that the appearance of competence opens the door to proving it. The rich follow a rule most people ignore: control what you can, influence what you can't. This is where the average person gets stuck. They complain about the economy, inflation, the president, the job market, their boss, and everything outside their control. The wealthy are different. They focus on skills that can't be taken from them, relationships that multiply opportunities, assets that grow even while they sleep. There's a classic Machiavellian principle that says, never rely completely on outside forces. Build your own foundation. Translation for today's world: don't depend on the single paycheck. Don't depend on one skill. Don't depend on one source of money. People think that's common sense. But common sense isn't common behavior. The rich move with strategy, not emotion. One of the most powerful Machiavellian ideas is simple: the one who controls their emotions controls the situation. Look at investing. Most people buy when the news is good and panic sell when the news is bad. They are ruled by emotion. The wealthy, they move opposite. They buy when there's fear. They hold during chaos. They sell when everyone else is. Feeling invincible. This emotional discipline is what builds long-term wealth, but it applies outside of money too. In business, emotions ruin negotiations. In relationships, emotions burn bridges. In life, emotions distract from strategy. The wealthy aren't emotionless. They're emotionally strategic. The rich understand leverage, one of the strongest forces in human power. Here's a truth school never teaches. Wealth is not built by effort. It's built by leverage. There are 4 types. 1. Money leverage. Your money works harder than you do. 2. Skill leverage. One skill creates many opportunities. 3. Network leverage. Access to people who can do what you can't. 4. Systems. Leverage processes that earn for you repeatedly. The average person relies on one type: effort. And effort is the weakest form of leverage. A Machiavellian approach says, use every force available to multiply your power. Only a fool fights with one weapon. This is why the rich buy assets, build businesses, create content, acquire skills, form partnerships. They're stacking leverage. And that's why they move faster. The rich know how to read people because wealth is psychological. Here's a truth nobody talks about. You don't get rich by understanding money. You get rich by understanding people. Every dollar you earn comes from a person, a boss, a customer, a client, a partner, an investor. Machiavelli teaches this. If you can predict people, you can control outcomes. This doesn't mean manipulation. It means awareness. It means understanding what motivates people, what scares people, what people value, what people want but can't say out loud. For example, a young salesman learned early that most clients didn't care about product details, they cared about feeling confident that he would take care of them. Once he focused on building trust instead of reciting features, he tripled his income in 6 months. Wealth is psychological. Before it's numerical, the rich know how to play the long game. A lot of people want quick results, fast money, fast success, fast recognition. But the rich play a different game. Power builds slowly, then arrives suddenly. This is why they focus on things that compound over time. Money, reputation, skills, relationships, influence. There's an old Machiavellian principle. The seeds you plant today become the power you hold tomorrow. If you spend your 20s and 30s chasing quick wins, you'll spend your 40s and 50s catching up. If you spend your 20s and 30s building skills, assets, and connections, your 40s and 50s take care of themselves. Wealth is not a moment, it's momentum. The rich accept the truth most people avoid. You must become a different version of yourself. The habits that keep you comfortable are the same habits that keep you broke. The rich understand transformation requires sacrifice. Sacrificing comfort for growth. Sacrificing entertainment for education. Sacrificing short-term pleasure for long-term power. Machiavelli said, "Fortune favors the bold, not the reckless, but the courageous." Wealth requires boldness, bold learning, bold decisions, bold discomfort, not impulsiveness, but courage with direction. The average person stays the same year after year. The wealthy reinvent themselves repeatedly. The rich treat life like a chessboard, not a lottery ticket. They think in moves. They think in consequences. They think in positioning. They don't wait for luck. They create circumstances where luck becomes unnecessary. If you want to think like the wealthy, adopt this mindset. Where do I want to be in 5 years? What decisions today make that outcome easier? What habits, skills, and connections will put me there automatically? The wealthy don't ask, "What do I feel like doing?" They ask, "What moves me forward?" That's a Machiavellian mindset, applied to modern success. Final message. Wealth is not just about money, it's about power over your own life. And the moment you realize that, everything changes. Because once you start seeing the world the way the wealthy see it, you stop chasing money and start building the kind of life where money comes to you. A life where you think strategically, move with purpose, understand people, use leverage control, your emotions, build alliances, stay adaptable, and play the long game. That's the formula. That's the difference. That's the blueprint. Mindset Wealth Blueprint.